Welcome to HFY Nexa Tube Original Sci-Fi Stories. The inspection wasn't requested. It was ordered. Earth, recently inducted into the Galactic Accord, was now subject to standard evaluation. Defense capabilities, fleet strength, technological integration. An alien formality meant to measure humanity's worth to the greater galactic machine. But it wasn't about protection. It was about ranking, placement, hierarchy, and the Galactic High Command had already made up their minds. The inspectors arrived in full display, 3 dreadnoughts, 200 drones, a delegate team of 70, flanked by armored guards and glowing badges. They landed in Earth orbit, refusing atmospheric entry. Too dangerous, they claimed, too primitive. Still, Earth complied. A quiet acknowledgement, no pageantry, no fear. The first scan was from orbit. The lead inspector, a Krell species admiral named Varneth, observed Earth's defense grid and laughed. Electromagnetic rail cannons, sublight drones, chemical-fueled atmospheric interceptors. You built a toy chest, not a defense network. The others chuckled. They expected resistance. Instead, the humans remained quiet. Down below, the inspection crews toured Terran installations, escorted by low-ranking Earth officers. Calm, respectful. At Joint Station Epsilon 3, an aging weapons platform floated above the Pacific. Rust-streaked, solar panels half-functional, exposed missile racks that hadn't been fired in over a decade. Your orbital defense grid is a fossil, Varneth sneered. No reply, he moved on. At the Luna Bunker facility, humans showed the High Command their ground-based strike platforms. Missiles, railguns, kinetic rods, manual targeting, unshielded structures, analog interfaces. One inspector whispered to another, "They're still using pressure seals. Gods are these levers." Earth said nothing. They toured Earth's dry dock next, Fleet Anchorage Gamma. There, the humans revealed their starships. Corvettes with aging hulls, frigates with exposed coolant coils, cruisers still bearing heat burns from atmosphere reentry. Each one registered laughably low energy readings. Varneth stepped aboard one, the ECS Resolute, and grinned at the engine block. "This entire propulsion array, your peak human innovation, draws less power than a household replicator." He looked to the silent Terran commander beside him. "And you expect to survive galactic war with this?" The human officer didn't answer. He simply nodded once. The final inspection was at Mars Station Helix Prime. It was Earth's oldest outpost beyond the moon. Once a beacon of exploration, now just rust, regolith, and retired tech. The command shook their heads. "You are beneath us," said one. "There is no threat here," said another. "Let them join. They'll never rise." And that became the official verdict filed by the Galactic High Command. Humanity's strategic capacity is marginal. Their technology is outdated. Their threat level, negligible. Within the council, laughter echoed. Let the primitives enjoy their stone toys. Put them on border duty. Use them as shield fodder if needed. They barely escaped their own gravity well. How could they ever touch the stars? Earth was labeled a Class 3 culture. Allowed trade, allowed speech, but not trust, never respect. That night the alien fleets departed orbit. They left behind no defenses, no gifts, no partnerships, just data, judgment, and the echo of their laughter. Back on Earth, in a sealed command room 3 miles below the Arctic crust, 6 Terran officers sat in silence, reviewing the High Command's report. One of them finally leaned forward. A woman, gray uniform, scar on her temple. She tapped the side of the display and smiled. "They bought it," another officer nodded. "Completely." A third tapped in an override code, and all across the solar system, real systems came online. Satellites that hadn't moved in decades began reorienting. Dormant stations shifted their shields. Subterranean silos powered up, and every ship the High Command had laughed at began shedding layers. Armor peeled away to reveal plasma-threaded hulls. Outdated cannons rotated inward, exposing smart coil arrays. Dust-covered decks disassembled, unfolding into active nanomaterial configurations. The rust had been camouflage. The rot was misdirection. Earth had shown the galaxy its past. Now the future was waking. Deep in Saturn orbit, an asteroid cracked open. Inside, a black ship. No lights, no windows, no crew, just one signal. A repeating ping in old Terran Morse code. We heard them. Shall we begin? The Earth officer smiled again. Not yet. Let them laugh a little longer. The Galactic High Command dismissed Earth and moved on. Their fleet spread outward, stationing monitors across the frontier and posting warnings in trade lanes. Human technology, non-threatening. Culture, contained. Status cleared. To them, Earth was checked off the list. A backward planet, a curiosity, a footnote. But Earth wasn't insulted. It was preparing. Beneath the Mojave, the doors to Facility 13 opened for the first time in a century. No civilians, no diplomats, just black badge personnel with clearance levels that didn't officially exist. Inside were vaults, not for weapons, but for blueprints. Schematics too dangerous for peacetime. Designs outlawed by treaties Earth had never signed. Project Mantle, Black Star Array, Sol Shard, files marked. Dead hand, the researchers were already waiting. On Luna, mining rigs powered down. Their real purpose reactivated. They weren't drills. They were energy sinks masking the startup signatures of 3 dormant AI cores. Not civil assistance, not navigation support. These were war mines, trained on Earth's bloodiest centuries, simulated through every historical collapse, and now given access to updated databases. They spoke one phrase as their cores came online. Recompiled doctrine, unseen, unheard, unstoppable. At Earth L4, the space between satellite shadows shimmered, a ripple, barely perceptible. Then from empty space something unfolded, not built, grown. A Terran stealth carrier, never mapped, never tracked. Codenamed Whisper Titan. Length classified. Crew 0. Armament full orbital silencer array. Its hull was made from a living alloy reacting to signal sweeps before they even arrived. It didn't cloak, it didn't need to. Nothing could detect it because nothing believed it existed. Meanwhile, Earth's public face remained meek. Delegates gave bland speeches. Ships arrived late to convoy drills. Terran representatives played dumb at every table. They let the aliens believe it all. That Earth was too slow, too stupid, too soft. And every time they did, the High Command relaxed a little more. Their patrols thinned. Their scans became lazy. Their scouts diverted attention to the real threats, other empires, pirate fleets, power plays. No one watched Earth anymore, until Earth gave them a reason. One cargo ship, purposely malfunctioned in Alliance Zone Delta 6. It drifted toward a relay station, powered down, non-responsive. A team boarded to investigate. Inside they found nothing. No crew, no systems, just one sealed black crate. When they opened it, they triggered the payload. Not a bomb, not a virus, a signal. It didn't broadcast to space. It broadcast inward. A compressed burst of raw Terran code, hyper-accelerated, recursive, and alive. In seconds, every system in the relay station crashed. In 4 seconds, their translation matrix began screaming. By the 8th second, the onboard AI suffered an emotional overload. By the 10th, all 6 inspectors were clawing at their own heads, trying to shut off the signal with their hands. It wasn't a weapon. It was a message, a direct neural echo of every Terran war memory, fed into alien minds that had never experienced total loss. They weren't just overwhelmed. They were shown what Earth had survived. The High Command launched an investigation. They found no transmitter, no trace. The cargo ship disintegrated itself the moment the crate opened. They called it sabotage. They blamed a rogue faction. Earth said nothing. But inside Terran Command, laughter, the real kind, not mockery, not spite, anticipation. Earth had shown them their fear once. Now they were ready to show them their mistake. One by one, Terran ghost fleets, ships that hadn't even been acknowledged by their own registry, started moving. They took no paths. They triggered no gates. They folded space along fracture seams only Earth had mapped. And in the darkness they began testing targets, not openly, not visibly, just subtle failures. A dreadnought's reactor fails mid-transit. An alien diplomat's shuttle loses course and hits a gravity well. Entire data archives go missing from the High Command servers overnight. No fingerprints, no patterns, just paranoia. The High Command called emergency session. They blamed pirates, black market hackers, civil unrest, anything but the truth. Because to admit it was Earth would be to admit they'd underestimated something they didn't understand, and the galaxy's rulers never admit they're wrong. Back in Sol system, a hidden Terran array activated. It pinged one signal, one time. The Whisper Titan acknowledged receipt. Payload, green, launch, pending. All across Earth's buried archives, old systems stirred. Weapons born from nuclear ash. Programs trained on extinction-level events. One human officer looked at the display and simply said, "Let them keep laughing for now." Because Earth wasn't just prepared to win. Earth was prepared to rewrite the battlefield. The change wasn't announced. There were no fleet movements, no declarations, no warnings, just failure. Systems across Galactic High Command space began crashing. Energy nodes overloaded. Hyperlanes blinked out mid-transit. Archive cores began rewriting themselves in dead Terran languages. At first, they blamed glitches, then sabotage, then espionage, but nothing added up. Because the failures didn't just destroy systems, they replaced them. In Command Sector Epsilon V, a planetary defense hub woke up to find all its drones reassigned to an unknown operating system. They fired upon their own patrols. In Council Station Halari, diplomats watched helplessly as the station's AI projected real-time footage, classified human black site training, on every wall. None of them understood the footage, but one alien recognized the terrain. That's not simulation, that's their moon. They've trained for zero-atmosphere boarding for decades. Another spoke, terrified. Why does Earth even have orbital kill mazes? No one answered. They were watching the moment the High Command stopped laughing. In orbit above Narration Prime, an elite High Command cruiser reported engine trouble, then silence. A few hours later, another cruiser found the ship drifting, hull intact. Systems functional, but the crew gone, every one of them missing. No signs of struggle, just one message carved into the captain's chair: "You should have looked deeper." By now, fear took root. High Command began pulling ships inward. They activated long-dormant internal defense protocols, even began rerouting their patrol fleets towards Sol system. That's when Earth made its move, not with weapons, with a broadcast. It echoed across all known frequencies. No encryption, no code, just sound. Laughter, human laughter, not mocking, not cruel, just amused, followed by a voice. "You inspected our technology, but not our patience. You laughed at our history, but not at what it made us. You saw rust, you didn't see the trap behind it." The voice paused. "You were never supposed to fear our weapons. You were supposed to fear the moment we stopped pretending." That same moment, Whisper Titan uncloaked in orbit above High Command seat of power, Zarix Prime. No alarms triggered, no defenses activated, because they never coded Earth's stealth signature into their threat matrix. By the time they noticed, it had already deployed its payload, a memory virus. The virus didn't destroy data. It restored it. Footage, documents, reports, every insult, every plan, every diplomatic note mocking Earth's tech. Everything the High Command had said when they thought Earth wasn't listening. It played live, broadcast from their own towers, to their own citizens. And the people didn't riot, they simply left. Dozens of species, hundreds of colonies just walked away. Because the truth wasn't that Earth was powerful, it was that Earth had been holding back. In the Council's throne chamber, silence reigned. Varneth, the Krell admiral who'd mocked Earth's fleet, collapsed to his knees as footage of Project Mantle played. A human platform descending through a gas giant's core. Stable, shielded, then launching a weapon straight through it, piercing the planet clean in half. No aliens had ever achieved that. No one even thought it possible. Earth had done it 40 years ago. That can't be real, it was, and worse, it was old. A final file appeared on every high command display. A Terran AI voice spoke calmly. You wanted our rank in the galactic order. You mocked our tech, our strategy, our restraint. So here it is. The ranking appeared. Humanity class null, unmeasured, uncontainable, unopposable. Below it one line, we are not proud, we are prepared. You laughed, we waited. You ended nothing, we have only just begun. The High Command's fleet scrambled to respond. Too late, every Terran ghost ship activated. They didn't fire, they didn't speak. They simply arrived, above key installations, over military stations, outside capital worlds, and hovered, silent, watching. It was not a siege, it was a sentence. Then Earth cut the signal, and the galaxy fell into the most dangerous silence it had ever known. Not of surrender, not of destruction, of uncertainty. They didn't know Earth's limits. They didn't know its reach. And worst of all, they knew Earth was done pretending to be weak. Zarek's prime fell quiet, not from bombardment, not from invasion, just realization. All across High Command territory, alien leaders stared at ghost ships that did not fire, did not move, and still made every fleet feel obsolete. Because their presence alone said it all. You thought we were behind you, we were hiding above you. Every analyst scrambled. Terran schematics, once dismissed, were re-examined. Sensor footage reinterpreted. Telemetry reversed. And still, none of it made sense. Why did nothing match known physics? Why were Earth's oldest ships registering newer than current energy signatures? Why were supposedly fossil power arrays showing radiation levels from exotic particles the rest of the galaxy hadn't even discovered yet? One scientist from the Jakar species whispered what others were afraid to say. Their junk isn't old, it's future tech made to look old. In an emergency convocation of 500 worlds, the High Command tried to recover authority. They issued demands. Earth must submit full technology disclosure. Earth must agree to an arms evaluation. Earth must cease fleet deployments in non-Terran space. Earth responded once, not with ships, not with threats, but with a single encrypted message sent to every High Command world simultaneously. Decrypted, it said, your terms are noted, rejected. You may submit your resignation from relevance at your earliest convenience. They thought Earth was bluffing until the moons disappeared. 3 moons, none of them blinked out of their orbits, not exploded, not cracked, vanished. Saturn's Black Ops array had targeted them with Grav silence pulse cannons, a weapon never declared, never tested publicly, and never meant for war. The purpose? To remind the galaxy Earth didn't have to fire at enemies. Earth could erase geography, permanently. For the first time, the Galactic High Command had no words. Its members began fleeing. Systems seceded. Alliances collapsed. Because the galaxy finally understood. Earth's worst weapons weren't missiles, or ships, or even AI. They were patience and misdirection. The laughter had stopped. Now they feared the silence. On Earth, there was no victory parade, no gloating, just continuity. The fleets returned to shadows, the ghost ships recloaked, the orbital silos were resealed. Earth resumed its status as primitive, and everyone let them. No one dared call Earth anything else. In time, historians from alien academies sought to explain the human deception. They interviewed former spies, dug up ancient inspection reports, scanned abandoned Earth relay code. They all found the same thing. None of this was accidental. From the moment of first contact, Earth had staged everything. The rust, the analog systems, the levers, it was all theater, not to manipulate, to survive. And when they didn't need to hide anymore, Earth stopped pretending. On the far edge of known space, a new signal was detected. A Terran science vessel, long thought lost, emerged from a singularity corridor. Its crew had aged 7 months. The rest of the galaxy, 200 years. They returned with knowledge Earth refused to share, because the universe still believed Earth's technology was barely beyond combustion. Let them. Inside Earth's hidden research moon, labeled only as Arc X. A human scientist recorded a log. The galaxy thinks we won, they're wrong. We prepared for a threat they still can't imagine. Not from them, not from this galaxy, from the ones who left it behind. He closed the log, sealed the lab, and let the orbit darken. And so Earth stood, not as conquerors, not as rulers, just as a reminder that the galaxy's strongest empire didn't fall in battle. It crumbled after underestimating a species with junk ships and dead tech. Because what Earth called obsolete was still decades beyond the galaxy's future. Like, subscribe, and don't forget to watch the next video.